Today, I want to give my 2 cents on what I think could possibly be a lifesaver for you if you are somebody like me who does your own home recording in your own makeshift studio, but you need to get rid of the background noise where you are recording. To do such, can you trust the Sennheiser HD280 Pro? That's what we're going to be looking at today, folks. Should you buy it? Should you not buy it? So I've got a little funny story to tell you about. I had a different set of headphones originally when I first started to get into recording at home, right? I thought that my mixes sounded great. I didn't really hear my mistakes very much. I was happy. I thought everything was going great. However, when I would upload it to YouTube and I would listen to it, the bass was too heavy, or you can't hear the drums. The guitar's getting kind of muddy, and you can hear every little mistake that you make when you're playing guitar. But with those old headphones, I couldn't hear it for the life of me. Enter Sennheiser HD280. Now, when you first buy it, it's not going to be broken in yet, so you're going to want to do is the same thing I did. You find a nice bass-heavy song, whether it be heavy metal, hard rock, or hip-hop. I would recommend something like a modern metal band that has a lot of hard-hitting bass. And it's going to take some time. So what I did was I plugged in my headphones, cranked it up to where it was pretty much almost unbearable to my ears to have these guys on, and I just played the loop over and over of one song. Then I would leave and go to work, come back home, change it to another song. Cool thing is, when you put these together like so, you're not going to really hear much of anything, which is great. So it took me about 3 days. The first day I had this, I wanted to try them out, right? I put them on my head. Look at me, I'm like an alien, right? But I put them on my head. I get everything going. Suddenly I hit my bass guitar. I start trying to mix in my bass guitar. I'm not really hearing it. Turn the volume up. Start playing the bass guitar some more. Get some nice thuddy bass rhythms going on, bass grooves. I'm not hearing it. I'm like, what's going on here, Did I just spend $100 on junk? No. I did a little bit of research, and these do take some time to break in. Generally, doing what I did, it only took me 3 days. Now I'm happy with them. That being said, you are going to hear every little mistake that you make. Every time your hand moves up the fretboard, that little squeak that you get when you're playing guitar, you're going to hear it. If you have your bass turned up too loud, these are going to pick it up, and it's going to make it obvious. They're studio headphones, so these are not going to emphasize certain sound frequencies and make you sound good. They're pretty neutral. I don't really care to say the word flat, because to me flat just means there's not really much treble. There's only as much treble as there is bass and mids. They're not like that. If you're doing your mix and you've got some bass and it's a little bit too bass heavy, you're going to be able to tell. Just like if it's a little bit too fizzy in the high end, you're going to be able to tell. Which this is something that's a lifesaver. I mean, for $100, you can spend more money and possibly get better quality. But personally, for me, I feel like these are actually pretty good for $100, What's really cool, let me just show you this really quick. When you buy these, you're going to get this nifty little adapter here at the tip. So I don't know if you can quite really see it. And all it does is it screws into the tip here, so you can plug it into your USB interface. I just want to get into something else about these headphones. Usually when you're recording at home, it's not going to be like you're at a professional studio where you've got total dead silence. No. You're going to have, maybe the wife is walking around, maybe there's some noise coming from an upstairs neighbor, or maybe there's some kind of noise coming from outside. You don't want to hear that when you're trying to get the final rendition of what you've got recorded. Enter Sennheiser. Now when you put these on, you can still hear just enough outside that if your house were to be catching on fire or for some reason the roof fell down, you'll hear that. But most of your nuances, they're going to be gone. This is really cool because one of the things that you want to do when you're mixing is turn your volume all the way down to the bottom where you hear nothing. And you just slightly keep turning it up, inching it. Can you hear something? Okay, so that's going to be jumping out in my mix, so I better turn that one down. Boom, turn it down. Keep turning it up just a little bit till you can hear some more. These are going to be the loudest instruments that are in your mix. What's cool is that you're going to hear these things really good when you're doing your mixing. And again, it's definitely worth the money. It's $100. Now, I'm not paid by Sennheiser. I'm not paid by anybody to do reviews. I just want to make a video that I wish I would have found before I went out and spent the money to buy this bad boy. It would definitely have helped me to know that when I first receive it in the mail, it's not going to be at its full potential. And I don't think it quite yet is in its full potential. Now, even if I get it mixed and sounding great here, for me, I have a set of Mackie speakers, which kind of act like a filter for me. Like if I get it sounding good here, I'm just going to render it and I'm going to ship it out and I'm going to let people hear what I've just created. No, I have also studio speakers that I can crank up loud and I can make sure that my bass isn't going to be dominating my mix. Another cool thing about these is when you use your high pass, low pass filters and your EQ settings to get your bass guitar and your electric guitar sitting in the mix right and getting it to where you can still hear your drums making that bang. Not the thud or the sound of a bass drum, but I'm talking about that punch that you get from the bass drum. You're still going to get to hear that with these. If you don't, there's something going on with your bass guitar frequencies being too low. Try setting them to have the high pass filter up around 80 hertz. That way your bass drum has some room to breathe and you'll get that percussive bam, you know? The other cool thing that I would like to mention that probably a lot of people don't mention when they do reviews for headphones that they buy is when you're wearing them, are they comfortable? Well, I think they are. Usually when I put them on, I don't have my hat on, but as you saw in my other part of my video, I got a pretty nasty haircut. I'm trying to grow my hair out long at the moment. Not like hippie long, but just long enough to look decent. Anyway, that being said, they're very comfortable. You can move around, and I actually kind of like this design where they kind of stick out quite a bit, because sometimes when you're working, you have to do other things. Fits comfortably right around your neck, and it's not really, there's not a lot of pressure going on here. This is really pretty comfortable, and I do like that these pads here seem to be of pretty good quality. I've had these for a couple of months now. I'm not exactly sure how long. I'd like to say 6 months. I've worn them quite a bit, and usually one of the problems that you'll have is right around inside here you'll get some cracking. The material cracks, breaking off, starts flaking, but I don't have that. It still looks really good, like brand new looking. And it's the same thing on the other guy. Looking great. So how about you guys? Do you have a product that you would recommend for other people as well that do home recordings on a budget? Not everybody can record using multi-$1,000 pieces of equipment, but if you're like me and you're a working man and you are doing home recording and music writing as a hobby in your spare time and you don't want to have to kill yourself at your job to support your hobby, this is the way to go right here. These plug in perfectly fine to a Focusrite USB interface. I have the 2i2, and I think it's a 3rd generation. It plugs in nice, and I really have no complaints at this point. The only complaint that I did have was I first bought it, I did not know that they had to be broken in. Nobody told me about that. So I hope you guys enjoyed my video. I'm probably going to be doing some demos or reviews on some of this other stuff that I bought around the same time, hence microphones. Let me know in the comment section down below if you'd be more interested to see me do some more of these demos or reviews and what I honestly think about them. I like to make sure that when you watch one of my videos, You understand I'm not paid. I don't want to see you thinking that you're going to go buy something and it's going to be the most utmost beautiful quality when it's really not. However, if these things were not worth your money, I would tell you not to get them. If these were over $200, I would still say to pick them up because they are a massive lifesaver. For me personally, I am in an environment where I'm not always free to record playing guitar because I'm married and my wife has her own thing that she likes to do. And she doesn't like to hear death metal getting recorded, especially when you got a double track. And just because you're double tracking doesn't mean you're just recording twice, probably 12 to 15 times, playing the same stuff from the beginning to the end to create a nice, thick, monstrous tone, but also messing around with the gain to make it just nasty, but have a good bottom end to it, you know? She doesn't want to hear that. She don't have to. You get studio headphones. Only you can hear it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed my video. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel because I'm going to be doing some more reviews like this, giving my 2 cents on some of the things that I've bought. And I hope you enjoy it. Hit the like button, subscribe. Feel free to share my videos. I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to check out my video. Peace.